It's like, well, he's got the good mic.
All right. Well, we are live. We made the transfer, so we're all set there. My name is Jacob Oggs. This is Island Moon Thursday on the Power Hour. This is KUKA Driscoll, Texas, 105.9 and 103.3, and streaming live on YouTube at Island Moon Live. Let me get all the mics and everything set up here.
Sibilance.
Sounds a little hot. Let me back off on this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it sounds pretty good coming through the monitor.
Okay. We're rocking. Yes, spent a little time kind of talking yesterday about different topics and things we wanted to hit. Let me see here. These aren't the best headphones.
The first topic is, look, everybody, Jacob shaved his beard off.
Yeah,
you did say your beard off.
He went to a soup catcher.
Rocking the Wyatt Earp for a little bit.
I've been here with you an hour already. I was trying to figure out what's different about you, and I didn't catch it.
No, he went to soup catcher for
You
sure.
look like somebody walked over your grave.
Yeah. Rocking the Wyatt Earp for a little
Wyatt
bit.
Earp, yeah.
Little salute to my dad, who's been rocking the handlebar for years.
Yeah. Good morning, Johnny, if you're listening.
What do your daughters say about it?
Nothing.
Oh, they haven't seen him yet.
They saw it because I cut it last night, and Josie didn't even say anything.
don't know.
Finn reached up and like grabbed one, and she's like, "Arr," yeah.
Good handlebars.
It was cute. Yeah, it's very cute. But Tyler Thorson joining us. Good morning, Tyler.
Good morning.
And we were running through a few different topics about what we wanted to get to, and
Your arm's partially in a sling these days.
Sort of. Sorry,
Is that?
I changed my bandage.
it's still on
Oh,
the mend.
nice. Yeah. Good.
All right. Well, good. Hope your recovery goes well and you kind of blast through everything, man.
I'm going to blast through something.
Yeah. Well, speaking of blasting through stuff, we've got
The Island
Brett
Blast.
Stour, President, CEO of Port Aransas Tourism Bureau and Chamber of Commerce, going to be joining us. And one of the first thing we're going to get to today, and this one actually isn't in the Island Moon, but I'm going to go ahead and pull up because I think I had the latest edition of the Island Moon. If you want to read it, you can just go to islandmoon.com. If you can't find one at HEB or any of your other favorite places that have it,
on Friday morning.
it's going to be coming out today.
Okay,
yeah.
this afternoon.
New
Depends-
paper is going to be dropping today,
Depends
and
on Dale's delivery schedule. Yes, exactly.
yeah, he's a busy man. He's got a lot of big deals cooking.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh gosh.
You can always get one at Ace Hardware on the island this afternoon at 2 o'clock.
Right.
This I know.
There we go. And it's been interesting because you can't really find them at HEB. Every time I go to HEB, they're just gone so fast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So during the summer, Dale, I've seen him at HEB like 2-3 times.
Yeah.
He just goes and throws them, and he can't throw more than 100 because people grab them by the handful.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like,
Yeah, they're lining their kitchen cabinets with them.
Yeah, and bird cages. But
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, we actually a really cool story on the front page of the Island Moon. Who was Briscoe King, and how did the pavilion at Bolly Park come to be named after him?
I
Really
read
cool.
that.
It looks like he could be Joe Gazen's old uncle.
Right. And he's not related to any of the King, the Clayburghs, or any of that stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Interesting.
It's definitely worth a read. Really cool. And I put in another one of the renderings for the new design for Briscoe King Pavilion, which it's going to be awesome.
The watercolor engineering.
Yes.
I've seen some of the presentations. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Just because it's been so sorely needed for so long. I'm glad that something's actually happening on this.
Do we know if they're going to have a wedding spot with a view of the Gulf and the beach out there?
That'll be on that boardwalk.
It should be high enough. I think the place will be lifted high enough to have the great. It'll be-
Experiencing technical
I don't-
difficulties, Jeff will get at that.
Yeah, I don't do the website.
All right.
I'll email you, Jeff. Yeah.
This was edition 1113. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Good grief. And then I turned in my article yesterday was 767 or something. And then if you add in birds and beach bits, I'm over 800 articles.
So you're past 800.
Good
wow.
grief.
And what year did you start writing for the Moon?
Sunny, it was back in the 60s.
Yeah, when you were 12. Yeah.
That's what I used to write for the Saltwater Angler, and I had
That's right,
225 articles, and you've like got 700. And it's like you get going at that. And Tom Nix used to edit me down. I was going, I would spend 8 hours a day because it's like if you're going to pay somebody. It's like I want to have something good in there.
Instead of 8 minutes a day.
A
So
day, yeah,
do
yeah.
not read my article out there.
No, yours
it
is good.
will rot your brain.
Yours is good. You talked about jetty etiquette and about how that's why
Yeah.
I like Bob. I loved Bob Hall Pier, but I didn't like fishing there. It's just
Yeah.
too many. It's like the old pecking order of like all the guys. Oh well, that's my son's 6-aught. Yeah, your son is 6. Is he going to reel that in? No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
Yeah.
So tell us about your experience at the jetty a little while ago.
Yeah, so speaking of the shark fishermen, ran into people trying to shark fish at the end of Packery jetties the other day. And, shark rods, right? They just don't belong at the end of the jetties when everybody's trying to get the tarpon and the kingfish and everything
Snook.
else
Well,
that's
yeah,
going
it's just
on.
they just.
One thing is, if
Oh,
there
my
are boats
goodness.
coming in and out, normally bay boats, when the conditions are like this, that is a very dangerous thing to have
Well-
lines just sitting out.
And then they'll
stagnant
bitch
lines
about the
way
guys
out there.
running over their lines and getting
Right.
1,000 yards of
And they were
power pro on there.
and they were fishing on the beach side, so they weren't fishing in the channel. Which,
Okay, well,
if they
that's-
were fishing in the channel, that would just laugh them out of there. But
Yeah. Well, I mean they sort of tried, right?
Yeah.
they sort of
But-
tried.
And it's a free country. They can do that.
Absolutely. I mean, sure. You can.
But should you?
Yeah, right. Should
Right,
you?
Just
can-
because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. Good grief.
Yeah. So we had a lot of people, and they are catching fish out there.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is a good
They are
thing.
catching fish. We did see some slot reds come in. Lily caught a slot red the other day when she ghosted me. But they're doing pretty good.
That wasn't a dig at all.
I know. And I also saw a really big king come off. I mean, that thing was 45 pounds.
Oh,
wow.
It was
Nice.
huge. It was 5.5 feet, 6 feet long. So, but and there's also been, tarpon landed the other day. And part of my article I'll get into as far as etiquette is that I see people come and go off the jetties. Some people know what they're doing and they can do what I call the rock shuffle. So Ted, that's where you walk out and you cast off the rock. You cast straight ahead of you, pretty much, and you don't cast too far to the right or too far to the left and cross people's lines, right? And then you cast a few times and then you move around to a different rock or whatnot. Or what you don't do is you don't wait for somebody to turn around to change a lure and they jump right on the rock. What you really don't do, which is bad juju, is you step on somebody's rock that is currently casting and then cast over them. It's like, whoa. What do you? That's like cutting in line at HEB. It's you,
Yeah.
you don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Wait,
mean?
you don't?
You'll get some stares.
It's
you know
bad
what I mean?
form.
Well,
It's
it's like
just bad
it's like they
form.
do on the East Coast. When they're fishing at Cape Point,
Oh, right.
in
Same
North
thing,
Carolina,
yeah.
they do 8 and bait, and they go you do a little parade, and you walk your bait down the line.
Right, because
That's-
you're fishing with the current.
Right. And so people, you get used to it, and that's kind of what you're doing at the end when you're fishing for snook and tarpon,
Right.
or king mackerel. And I've hooked 2 or 3 of them out there, and some dudes cross me up, and I'm like,
While you're fighting the fish,
Right.
it's like, hello, come on, bud.
Now, but I do like, and then not to say that everybody out there is a jerk. I like when someone's hooked up on a nice fish or catch a king or get a big bull red on the line, and people are running around with nets and gaffs trying to help you land the fish.
Everybody reels up,
That's-
gets out of the way,
and then
Yeah.
watches
it's,
you,
It's team
and
effort.
does a video, and does TikTok. That's
And-
the way it should be.
Yeah,
And that's what I wrote about in my article. I ran into these really good kids, the Cheshire family, Stephen. These kids were in between like 11 and 13. They knew how to move around. They knew how to be very respectful, not cross everybody's lines, and they're actually catching fish. They knew what they were doing. And then ran into some other people on a team who remains nameless. They came out and, they had cameras on their chests and all the fancy gear and everything. And they came out and they literally just forced their way in and pushed 6 people off 2 rocks and just took over the end of the jetties. Nobody caught anything. It's not like tarpon were blowing out of the water. Or
Did they
anything. It's just-
move over like they were like a TV crew or something? Is
They
that what it-
did. They absolutely did. And when everybody's decked out and wearing cameras, people tend to fade back. And so, when you go to change a lure or something, you're not shuffling anymore. You just kind of go find a different rock that's maybe not in the ideal location. So, that's great that the local kids, they know better. They were trying to teach good manners, and these other 30-somethings, YouTube wannabe stars
Yeah.
out there just being jerks. It really sucks. So
Social influencers.
etiquette,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but we talked about that on
Social
the beach.
influencers. Oh my gosh. Anybody that puts social influence besides Ted Mandel.
Well, yeah, he
Ted
is.
Mandel is a social influencer, true social. Anybody else that puts that in their job description, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, wannabe. Yeah, pay me to be a jerk.
Well, it's like when
Really?
my kid was talking about I want to be a pro staff skater, and you know what, there are.
Yeah,
And there's some guy like our guy Blacktip, Daryl Blacktip has got the biggest
Yeah.
fishing page on YouTube, and it was like, oh, you'll never be that kid. What do you think, you're gonna make money off of fishing?
Right.
And then some of them do.
So anyway,
having to run the shark fishermen off the new long pier.
oh yeah, they're already having to do that.
I
so-
got death threats when I was on Nueces County Coastal Park
Oh,
Sport,
yeah.
and it's like, look, I'm trying to keep you guys on there because Scott Cross would. It's like I don't care. I don't care if I have to run them off. I don't care. And
Yeah.
I'm going like, no, you don't want to run them off. Just keep them from having 10 rods on the
Yeah.
end, and keep them from blocking off the end.
So before we tear off into water, that now that Greg Smith's joining us, there's a couple of
We call him D-Sal.
odds and ends. Greg D. Sal Smith, but a couple of odds and ends before we tear off into it.
Get a host.
It is stingray pupping season right now.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a bunch of small stingrays in the water. Nash got hit a couple of
Did
weeks
he?
ago. Yes, exactly. And he was just screaming. So stingray pupping season, for those of you out there, the really big stingrays come up really shallow at night and drop off in between 12, 14, 16 little coffee cup, saucer plate stingrays in the very shallowest of the water. And they kind of hang out there because it's safer from the predators. Unfortunately, people will step on them. Nash stepped on one and was screaming like a banshee because it hurts. I've been hit twice, kind of glances both times. I haven't been hit really bad. So they had to get him out of there. But the idea is the best medication is hot water. Soak it in hot water as fast as you can. Nobody's running around with a Coleman stove these days. So what they did is they actually, and I got to give a shout out to Island Joe's. They knew to go get some hot water, so they went to Highland Joe's and got a bunch of coffee and put it in a bucket, and that eased him to where he didn't have to go to the hospital immediately. So I don't want to say Island Joe's is your first aid stop, but they were very helpful.
Well,
so.
hopefully they used Arabica beans.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, exactly.
But so that gets us into the shuffle versus stomp theory, right? So Billy Sandifer and we all used to talk about: do you shuffle your feet along and shuffle the stingrays out, or do you stomp really hard to get the vibrations out through the sand, and that makes them?
I shuffle, but I look like I'm going up to accept a Tony Award when I just
Right.
kind of sashay.
or you're on the Nordic track. Do you remember those Nordic
yeah,
tracks?
like that,
swing
yeah.
thing? Yeah.
But Billy Sandifer said that Mr. Ralph never got he died at 95 or whatever it was, and he never
Mr. Ralph,
he never had a fishing license. He had like 3 or 4 retirements, and that dude never shuffled in his life.
Yeah.
And he also never walked the dog on a topper. I never seen no mullet do walk the dog. He just like pulled his snout back. But I've got hit like you have, like glancing blows where you knew it was a stingray because you stepped on it. I was like, well, there are not that many flounder out here,
Oh, my
and they didn't leave a
gosh.
cut on my ankle.
At one point
Burns.
in time, I stepped on one wing of the stingray.
Yeah.
And then I kind of
Jump.
I kind of sidestepped to the other side, and I stepped on the other
wing, yeah.
side of the wing, and the tail was just flapping up against both of my legs. I went, no, God!
I've done that and
I
screamed and jumped.
I know. I jumped off to the side. My
It's like
rod
the,
went
the
under.
cartoon
it was,
when you're running on the top of the
oh
water.
no! I
Yeah.
just dove off. Glasses, hat, rod reel, everything.
Fred
Phew.
Flintstone bowling across the top of the water.
Oh
yeah,
my
but,
God!
Yeah.
My
Mike
heart,
goes-
my heart.
No,
Just
but really, this
picked
time
up
of year-
right there, remembering that one.
You're talking when I first moved here back in 1995. I was looking for a house, and oddly enough, I found a house in the first week, and I still had a week to fish. So I would go out to the sticks because I had rented a 2-wheel drive car. So I'd go out to the
Kids,
sticks.
we're moving into a 2.5. What?
Yeah, and so I'd
Everybody
go out
gets their
there.
own
In
bathroom.
August is when the time you're saying that they come pup.
Yes.
And normally when you walk out there, you sit there and they'll shuffle and they'll move off. when they're pupping, they're the size of trash can lids and bigger. The ones
Yeah,
that are
they're-
pupping,
they're just gonna
and,
sit
and
there.
they don't move.
No, they
you
don't
poke
move.
them. You poke them with your rod tip. They don't move.
They don't move.
So just watch the hell out, especially at night. They'll come in close, and it's like what my favorite places to fish is. You go out there and you see 4 or 5 big stingrays like that just to get to the bar, and you're going like, oh,
I know.
I'm
On
in a
the
good
way
spot for the
out,
trap.
Yeah.
you better want it.
Yeah, and you see these people out there that just pulled up from Bernie or someplace, and they're out there jumping on the first bar, screaming.
I
Kids are out
know.
there, and none of them get hit.
They're
And you're like,
completely
"How-"
oblivious.
Yeah, I don't know how more folks don't get hit, but that brings us to the point where you go to some place like Premier, the Dock in the Box shops, because they're
Right.
open and they're used to that. Because Dr. Durrell used to have a deal at his place over here. He'd have a whole jar of hooks that took out of people's
Yep.
ears.
Well, and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they have the
And
hook
bars,
removal
right,
kit,
yeah.
right? They just pull the whole kit out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's tough out there, and a lot of folks. I'm more worried about stingrays than I am about sharks.
Yeah.
and I've seen some scary sharks out there.
Oh yeah,
but
we've had fun.
Well, then, yeah, the chances of actually getting injured by a stingray are way higher than actually getting injured by a shark.
yeah, I think
my-
Dr. Stun said something about like you're more liable to get bitten by a guy who thinks he's a shark than you are.
Yeah,
An actual
yeah,
shark.
that guy
Like in Florida,
identifies
yeah.
as a shark.
Yeah, that's about right. Especially when you're in Flower Bluff.
Yeah. My friend came down from Waco, brought the family, and we were out, took his kids out on the softies, and just pushing them into waves and stuff. And it'd been a long time since I hung out with my buddy. We're sitting there walking out into the surf and get about waist deep, and the kids are right behind us, and about a 3.5-foot stingray swims right between me and him, and our eyes meet, and
But
we're
you
like
don't
distracting
mention
the
the
kids. They're like,
Like-
oh yeah, don't look at this, and it just came right through. It wasn't doing anything,
No,
it was just moving,
harmless,
but
yeah.
but it was funny. It gave you a little reminder that they're there. It's sometimes that's just enough.
Well, that's why you like going on the surfboards out there, but then you look like a large turtle.
Yeah.
And then you go like, well, now dude, here's when the black tips come
Yeah,
up
then
and
the-
give you a needle, on the
Yeah,
foot.
yeah, give you a little.
That's what they use it's like a dog or like my lab puppy comes up there and like, what's this? I don't know. I'll put it in my mouth. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what they feel
Well, I
with.
was with Roy. We were surfing a place called Pedro's that should remain nameless, and I saw my buddy Roy got bit by a shark. Yeah,
Really? How big?
yeah, Heisterman. Yeah, it was. So we're sitting there, and I hear this,
Roy did?
and I look over, and he pulls up his arm, and this pup shark that was about that long was hanging off his arm, and it let go and swam away. And I was like, Roy, you do realize what just happened, right? Like now you've survived a shark attack. Statistically, you can do anything.
It's time for the Express News to put it on their first baby sharks arrive
Yeah.
at Port Aransas. It's like, what?
Yeah, that was a good.
That was
one.
the stupidest story. It's like,
First ones they heard
baby
about.
sharks.
yeah. And then they had the 16.5 footer. Then I guess Oz got one last week that was 12.5. It was a tiger, which is a big
Yeah,
tiger.
down
Oh,
in
nice
Boca
tiger.
Chica,
Okay.
they got a 13 hammer last week too. Yeah, down south.
But that's
Yeah.
what they hang around and pup out here, and we talked to Kess about this. And as much as she wanted to say, "Don't do it," she said it's legal and they can sustain one if they die. But most people are trying to release them, but they still do that hero thing where they got like, here, have everybody and their dog lift up its mouth because that's good for
You
it.
can look down the barrel and see all the teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, that man,
yeah.
just
Down here we call it Shark Week.
yes.
Shark Week, man.
Yep.
Shark Week.
Look at all the folks obeying the.
Where do they fish for sharks now that you don't have Bob Hall Pier?
They
off,
south of
the,
Bob
off
here.
the end
Yeah.
of Packery Jetties the other day, which
Yeah.
was quite annoying.
Well, everybody and their dog has learned to do stuff on YouTube. It's great for like working on your car. It's like, well, even I can work on my car. I'd be like, oh, here's
Hope they don't learn brain surgery that way.
It's
well,
coming. It's probably not in English yet.
It is,
No.
but they learn. It's like, okay, if I do this and I take a 2x4, I too can catch sharks. And so they get a drone and they get a Jack Crevalle head and they fly it out there 1,000 yards and look, you too can catch a
Ta-da.
15-foot shark.
Well, and then they, it was like Sharkathon probably 3 years ago. I don't know if you think you were with us too. These guys next to us pull a shark in. Of course, they're a quarter mile down from us, probably over a quarter mile, but it takes them that long, and they're walking it over up the gut.
Yeah.
And finally get the shark in, and they're like, okay, they go through and take all their pictures for, in the tournament to, qualify the shark. and got everything set, and they're sitting here holding the tag, just looking at it. You know, and Jay has to walk over there,
like,
and you're
dude.
like, okay, guys, let me show you all how to tag it. You only teach y'all how to tag a shark. It's
Insert
like,
tag into shark.
Yeah.
And like, boom, quick, get out of here. Bye.
yeah,
it out.
yeah. And it's like, you know, they're using a rod with like 87 pounds of drag, and they're still just babying this thing down the beach. It's like, man, you got to go.
Just winch
Like,
that
come
thing
on.
in.
Yeah, it's a hubcap with a handle. It's not an ADOT. Like, they're just massive reels. you
Yeah,
know?
with two-speed.
Well,
Yeah.
watch the business end, but you know, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just bring them in fast because they can't take the long fights.
Well, it is already 7:23 on Island Moon Radio. This is KUKA Driscoll, Texas, 105.9, 103.3, and 104.1 Retro Tejano.
So anyway, so glasses on my head. Ted and I were talking about this. So I was evidently on the news last night, right behind this
Greg
guy
was,
a lot.
which we'll address here in a second.
Greg
So-
played to a full house yesterday.
So everybody on the YouTube channel or on the what's that Citizens Reaction line, Tyler? What's the number?
882-5253.
Right. So evidently, you're not supposed to wear glasses, your reading glasses, on top of your head. And Greg, I was in Commissioner's Court a couple of weeks ago, and the Sergeant at Arms, actually, I was addressing Commissioner's Court, had my glasses on top of my head like this, and Sergeant at Arms said you either have to put them on or take them off your head. What's the protocol? I don't understand.
I
I'm
don't
going to
get
get a
that.
life sentence in because I always wear glasses. on.
I know. I learned it by watching you.
So if I'm looking from my glasses, the first place I do is I pat the top
That's
of
the
my
last
head.
place
Well, if
I
you-
look, and so I have to look in the mirror after I can't
That's
find
where you
them
go
and
like,
realize.
yeah, well, I can't
Yeah.
find. Where my? They're on your head.
So anyway, Greg, for those of
When
you
did they do
unaware,
that?
He, I have no idea. It was in Commissioner's Court
That's
when I was
bullshit.
doing,
It's
when I was presenting the
because
Bob
you
Hall
have
deal.
you have guys wearing straw hats. You know, oh, I'm over here with the sheriff's office, and they're wearing hats inside a building.
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
do that.
Like Jacob right
Oh,
there. Yeah.
you don't do that. He's not
Yeah.
inside a building. He's.
Technically outside.
Well, he's
I
technically
mean, if
walking
you're gonna,
in.
if you're going to be
so-
that tit for tat kind of thing, that's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh, well, yeah, we got to get the hat crowd versus the glasses crowd.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
you had Bum Phillips didn't wear a hat in the Astrodome.
I'm going to show up in a
Yeah.
big Easter Sunday bonnet just to make an impression.
You need to go to the Capitol,
Y'all are welcome
which
for
is
that
big
visual.
Put a bee in your
session
bonnet,
In
yeah.
Austin,
Yeah.
half the people have a cowboy hat on.
Well, I was taught that you don't wear hats indoors, or you don't wear hats at church.
Well,
and you-
cowboys are allowed. They're special. And
Okay.
You heard it here, folks.
It's one of the first things I noticed when I moved back to Texas after being gone for a few years is to Corpus, and you go in a restaurant and you see people wearing hats while they're eating in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And you don't
Not
see
supposed
that
to
in
do
a lot of parts of the country.
No, because it was taught to you by your mother that you don't wear hats indoors,
It
Yeah.
goes back to
Yeah.
etiquette.
except for baseball caps.
It goes back to etiquette,
Yeah,
right?
well, okay.
And you don't wear them backwards, and you don't wear those stupid things with a flat brim and you look like a pea wood. But yeah, other than that, I'm sorry.
I come from a ranching background.
Yeah, and you-
One of the cowhands one time he had tennis shoes on. I said, "What the heck you have tennis shoes on?" I said, "I don't want somebody to think I'm a truck driver."
So you were doing a water talk yesterday. You and David Loeb.
Just
Over
before
in-
we get into that, we're going to run a quick promotional break, and we will
Right.
jump right back into this and tell you guys all about. It was more of Greg's TV kind of run yesterday, but I think Jay was on TV more.
I think I had more
Because-
airtime
yeah.
than Greg did, and I wasn't even presenting.
As long
yeah.
as you weren't
We're-
picking your nose.
Oh, I know. I was trying to eat a sandwich, though.
We're going to hear all about this in a second, friends. Right, and to all our
Birds,
friends
that's
out there,
great.
welcome back. This
Intros.
is
My God, you got yeah.
Okay,
we're
so-
bells and whistles.
We
I mean,
have
I've
faders.
got 4 screens and a board in front of me, and we're making it work. Well, I'm proud of us, guys.
Right.
We've got a full table here. Jay Gardner, Ted Mandel, Dale Rankin, Tyler Thorson, and Greg Smith. My name is Jacob Oggs. This is Larry Elizondo's Power Hour, and it's Island Moon Thursday. We're live out here at Doc's Seafood and Steaks, the best place to get some fried shrimp and a sunset. You know, or get a cold beverage of your choice,
Or
and
coffee.
or in this case, a nice hot cup of coffee. And man, these guys are dedicated to cleanliness. I got to say that they're back there redoing not the subfloor, but like the top floor and the kitchen, and keeping all that. So if you hear any noises,
You
anything
may
banging
hear a
around,
circular saw fire up
Doc's
every
made
once
the
in a while.
list this week of real Gulf shrimp, right?
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
that.
When you talk about fresh Gulf shrimp on there, they did a genetic testing. 44 restaurants on there. Only 19 had real Gulf shrimp. The other shrimp on there, they're geez,
they're
words
they
so-
speak
Indonesia.
Spanish.
kind of Venetian. They're not Venetians, but
Spanish,
Vietnamese
yeah.
with it. But It docks on there. If you go
Yeah.
buy Gulf shrimp, you know
You're
you're going to
getting
get
Gulf
real
shrimp.
Gulf shrimp.
And you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
You can tell how the tails come off.
There was a study a
Right.
while ago. They went through and did some DNA testing on fish that they had and found out that a lot of people that you thought were getting mahi or grouper was actually tilapia.
Tilapia.
Or it was
Basa.
a lot of it was black
Basa,
drum.
Yeah.
They have another
Yeah.
one, the Basa.
Yeah.
It's actually good. They have it at Black Diamond Oyster Bar when you have the
Right.
fish, but it's
Like
moist and it's like
South
it's
It's
really
good. Yeah,
Catfish,
yeah. But you know, we don't want any.
barramundi or something. Yeah.
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 We don't want anybody out there in radio or YouTube land to be fooled. And if you want to check out what we look like and see how the sausage is made, yeah, exactly.
Boy, he sure sounds younger than he looks.
Yeah, face for
Shut up.
radio. You just go to YouTube and go to Island Moon Live, where we've got this show recording, so we can go back and kind of play little bits and clips, and you can fast forward through any intermittent things. But we don't want you guys to be fooled by bad seafood, and we don't want people to be fooled by myths and misinformation concerning desal. We're gonna hit on this. We're gonna hit on this briefly.
Oh, come on, let's just
so-
beat it to death.
So
Yeah.
during the break, Tyler had a really good idea. What was your idea with?
Well, I
for
think
a,
it's like I thought this before because when I was trying to get hired by the city, that they had a public information officer for trash. It's like, oh, somebody that knows how to do trash cleanups. And I'm like, well, I might have some experience with the cleanups
Right.
on the beach.
One or
and
two.
I thought I'll come up with some mascot. It'll be like Polly. It'll be a
So the
it'll be a
D's-
parrot. It'll be like polyethylene. I mean, so like that. I'm polyethylene. It's like, why don't we have a desal mascot, and it'll be like a cube of salt, and it'll walk around like Salvatore, like, I'm desal, yeah, I'm like Mario Brothers,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Lunch Bodge D-Sal.
Right,
Yeah.
something that's
and then
cute.
you make little coloring books and you hand them out to the kids.
Kids,
You know,
and they
and
go, oh, we have
Dead
desal.
Mom, Dad, I
Yeah.
like desal.
They're gonna kill the base.
Yeah.
Get your
yeah,
parents,
okay.
Get your parents to vote for desal.
They tried something like
Color
that.
within the lines.
They tried something like that up north, but salmonella just didn't really go over very well.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a
Actually,
flop.
somebody should run for council. Change their name to desal.
Yeah.
I'm in favor of desal.
Well, they
I-
had Pancho Villa. At least I have
I-
some historical ties
I am
to him.
Antonio desal.
No, Sal
Yeah.
Rosenberg. Vote for Sal. Let's get desal in there.
What I don't,
So Greg, what was the main point of your talk yesterday? It was you and David Lowe were presenting, right?
It was, and David
And
presented
I'm sorry I
first.
had to walk out, but yeah.
Yeah,
had a
when
one-
I got up,
I had a
Jay
one
just
o'clock.
he did a 180, and
I had a
then he
1
got on
o'clock.
TV.
I had a 1 o'clock, yes.
There goes with the guy
did
with
my-
the illegal glasses.
Flower Bluff businesses.
We had one county commissioner, two city council members on there. They left they had a workshop with it, so it's good that they're going on it. Lowe presented first, I presented second. One of my key messages on there, and this is for everybody out there, that we're really changing our water mix. We're taking a lot more bought and paid for water out of the Mary Roads pipeline.
Yeah.
So in June of last year, we were getting over 50% of our water from the lakes with it, and
Yeah.
43%, something like that, from Mary Roads. Well,
Why?
that's another story in
Okay.
itself, Tyler.
Yeah.
But
Hang on,
but
Tyler.
today,
Oh, wait, there's more.
we're only taking about 28% of our water from the lakes. So as we're talking, we're all looking to see if it's going to rain. It's dove season. It's got to rain, and that we're
We
getting
fired up the
less
pipeline.
and less dependence on the lakes. So that specter of we're going to run out of water, and think about it, everybody. Next time you flush a toilet, take a shower, or something like that, 3/4 of that water is not coming from the lake.
Right.
It's coming from the bought and paid for pipeline with the water rights we've got and things. We have 133,000 acre feet. I'm gonna get into numbers, make everybody's eyes roll.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
133,000 acre feet in the lakes right now, and we're drawing about 30,000 acre feet annually out of the lakes.
That's not very much.
That's not very much, and we still have an ability to pump a little bit more out of the Mary Roads. We can get another, on an annual basis, 10,000 acre feet. We're leaving a little bit of water on the table. We could bump that. We're pumping 70 million gallons a day. We're using about 105 million on average, and we can take that up to 78.
So you can take up some slack through the Mary Roads from Lake Texana, We were on this show 2 or 3 weeks ago. The subject of a plant out at Harbor Island came up. And a guy popped up this week from the Nueces River Authority
Right.
at City Council and throws a skunk in the room. They're building a plant. And
Yeah.
everybody was kind of taken aback because they've already 100 million gallons a day, I believe, and they've already sold 38 of it, according to him.
Yeah, and if you go through the books, they've actually sold a little bit more. But it's kind of like that developer out there, that real estate promoter that sticks there next to Packery, coming soon, built
Yeah.
in 2021.
Coming soon in 2019.
In
yes.
2019,
Yes.
yeah. And so what the Nueces River Authority is doing, they're selling these rights on there that for 1 acre foot, you pay us $22.44 and you get 1 acre foot of water.
Right.
We can't tell you how much it's going to cost. We can't tell you when you're going to have it, but we're not telling you. We're using that money to fund the studies and the preliminary
Right.
engineering to see if it's
The
feasible.
bootstrap
That's
deal.
what we figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And you go through their books, you go through their budget, and it's right there. They've got one account that
Well, they're selling it to San Antonio. Is what
they're
he said.
selling it to Bexar County.
Yeah.
They're,
The
so they
210.
yeah, they say they're going to do it, and really I've gone through the book, so to speak, with it. They have sold it. They have collected over $1 million. They've got their initial study of the pipeline going across Redfish Bay. That's what they're funding it with.
An 84-inch line or something.
Well, they
said.
think it may be 80. You got a lot of maybes on here.
Right.
They don't. The line may go here. It may go there. With it. The really odd thing to me is they have it classified as municipal water. Well, coming from the governmental background on it,
right,
when you
yeah.
do a deal like that, even if it's you don't disclose the contract terms, you got to go out in open session and say, we approve spending $1.3 million on this. Where?
They haven't done that.
You can't see it. Where is it? Who are this mysterious buyers sitting out there? The municipal
He
buyers.
said they were what I got in the notes. I was looking at them yesterday. They've sold 1 million gallons a day to commercial users, and the
Yeah.
rest is all going to residential. And they can't sell. What he said is they can't sell directly to residential. They have to sell to wholesale to a
Right.
residential.
Right, to pass through.
They-
Literally pass through.
They are they're not a water utility, and that is why on there. So yeah, they can't go. But you take the city of Corpus Christi, about half of its water goes to wholesalers or municipalities on there. So that's
The regional water provider.
the regional water provider. Yeah, the
Two-
biggest customer, San Pedro.
2 weeks ago, I thought you all had it settled. You and
Charlie Zahn.
Charlie Zahn came on here, and
Right.
Dale goes, "That's the best presentation of water I've ever seen in my whole life."
And
And,
that-
and you
yeah.
said that at the end of the day, you can't. If they build this thing at 1.2, whatever, your water charge is going to be so high that the industries won't come there because of the rates are too high. But then David Loeb came on there with his slide rule and everything, and he had all the stuff like, well, if you figure with this, then you figure with that, it's going to be another $1 billion, $2 billion to run the pipe offshore. So you're looking at $14 per 1,000-gallon water, which is higher than they were projecting. Even if we don't build the thing, they're saying $8 per gallon or 11 if we do build it. So how does that?
There's a
do
lot
the
of
math.
there's a lot of noise in this system right now.
hu-
It's
Really
hard
is.
to sort
Who's
out.
who's holding out?
You
Who's
can
make-
argue it round or flat.
Right, I know,
Yeah.
and that's why that's why we're sitting here again, beating our head against the wall, going like,
Beating
"Well,
our
who's
head
right?"
against the
I think that the deal is we're out of water, and like you said, why were we last year? We're sitting over there with our big gulp, and we're down to the bottom of the ice, and we're slurping out of the things when we got this Mary Rhodes thing that we're paying for anyway that we're like not using.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Why do you-
So
free
now
water.
we are using it. Council said move forward on the purchase of the Evangeline water rights. And so as I'm putting all this together, and I'm basing this on 2024 water consumptions, which is low, but that's the basis for the numbers. And if we bring on half the Evangeline on there, 12 million gallons a day, well, you can put the whole 24 in the Mary Rhodes pipeline, but if you bring on 12 million gallons a day, you take our draw from the upper side, go to that 78 million gallons a day. Alice has got another 1.5 million that they can put on we can satisfy 100% of the current water demand without taking a drop from the lakes if we do those two things.
Hey, Greg, what about this city manager from Sinton talking about their water supply vis-a-vis Corpus? And what does all that mean?
Oh yeah.
Well,
they
okay,
said that they
so
weren't going to sell us water. Whoops.
Sinton's water comes for the Evangeline. It has for decades on there, as along with St. Paul's. They've got a small amount of acreage with it that they've got their water wells in. The city's deal is 22,000 acres, have the water right under 22,000 acres. They'll have about 24 wells, so they'll have about one well per every 1,000 acres. But Sinton is looking there, and in Texas, your water's called right of capture on there, and they're just trying to protect their supply. But this has been so studied, the 22,000 acres and things. It's not like it's called the EV Ranch, and the EV Ranch, they're going out and saying, you need to go pay for the studies. The Evangeline people have done the studies. They've drilled the test wells. They've gotten with the San Pat Water District on there. They've got the permits to take that water. What they don't have is the transfer permit to transfer it
Out of the county?
Out of the county. But to get a transfer permit, you have to prove need. Until they have a buyer, City of Corpus Christi, you can't prove need. And can the City of Corpus Christi prove need? Does people think the City of Corpus Christi needs water? And by the way, 40 million gallons a day goes from Corpus Christi to San Pat right now.
Really?
So you could take that water
Well, that's an easy argument to make.
and keep it in San Pat.
Right, and
Yeah.
just reverse the flow. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the whole
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Instead
So
of going uphill, go downhill.
that's one of these noisy type arguments. We've got several.
There's a lot
on
of that going on.
Yeah,
But man,
the pipeline capacity. I've seen the studies. The pipeline can take all 24 million gallons a day on it within the existing design parameters. Easy. It's well
But you're
under.
seeing-
I thought it's an RO issue with that they have to do a little desal on that.
That's another noisy one. Does Sinton have an RO plant? No. Did they get 100% of their drinking water from Evangeline? Yes.
Oh, so they've got rusty toilets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same,
I used to know
Gotta
him.
order it.
Rusty
Yeah.
toilet.
Okay.
It's not normal?
St. Paul is another. St. Paul's a little community
Yeah, I
out
know.
there. It's another example, and they just stick the well in the ground. They put a little chlorinator. They throw a little bit of chlorine tabs in there, and water goes in the system, which is very common in groundwater.
Well, you're seeing these fights from Kingsville to Beeville. They're everywhere
it's
you
getting
look.
bad.
There's water fights going on all of a sudden.
Well,
they fired the city manager in Beeville, and when I read the story, it said they fired him because he didn't put out enough flags for the 4th of July. And I'm thinking that can't be the real reason why they fired the guy.
He was wearing
and
his
you know
glasses
it's
in a meeting.
somehow-
Well, hey, they
Oh,
fired
no.
they fired the auditor again at Nueces County. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah,
And it's like, I mean,
she was a short timer from what I understand.
well, they had the who's the guy that you're not on the board for now? The you and
Housing
Kilmacombe?
Authority.
Yeah,
the
the
housing
Housing
authority. They're getting that guy $700,000. Who the
$796,000.
hell does he think?
Man, we need to apply for that.
Who
job.
does he think he is? A medical
Well,
examiner?
I'll split it with you, Dale.
I mean, really?
Yeah.
Two of us can work on that.
Yeah,
That's
we could
fine,
we
yeah.
could split that salary and still be.
Jeez.
Okay.
I want to go. I want to go get my mortician's degree in pathology or whatever, so I can go be a look at people.
You ever notice how medical examiners blink their eyes a lot?
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
It's all
but
like chemicals
formaldehyde, I
sucking all
guess.
the
I don't
time,
know.
yeah.
You always- every medical examiner I've known, they call him Blinky.
Blinky, the medical
Yeah,
examiner.
because they're always blinking their eyes when they talk, which is really annoying when they're in court.
Yeah, right. But one thing, Greg, that you guys didn't bring up, we talked about Harbor Island and the need for electricity and infrastructure out there, right? There are also other alternatives and power, right? There are other alternatives that you guys didn't even weigh in, and I'm looking over
I
my
did.
shoulder.
You
at-
left.
at Barney Davis.
Uh-huh,
right here.
He solved the riddle of perpetual motion, and you missed it.
Yeah.
No!
And cold fusion. Yeah.
And winning lottery ticket numbers.
Oh, man.
Okay, so I put up a slide on there, things that are in the works. So everybody, I had a slide of a guy panicking. Because,
Yeah,
hey,
that
we're
was a good
panicking,
one, yeah.
and
That was a
folks,
good
we
one.
don't need to panic. Things are being done on there.
Yeah.
Supply is being added. We need to work on it. Don't get me wrong on that. But we need we need to have the little salt cube running around, not saying the sky is falling, the
Not
sky
Henny
is
Penny.
falling,
Sal.
saying we
Little
could.
Sal, yeah.
Chicken Little, okay.
Yeah, little Sal. But
Better call Sal.
I'm melting. Help me! I'm melting.
Right.
okay, we have got right now being looked at 340 million gallons a day projects. We're using 100 million, so we can have 75% of those fall out. And we can double
Well,
our consumption.
It's not like the city is bursting at the seams with population growth.
Well, somebody said it's minus 0.017.
So
on there, yeah.
who's buying all these DR, homes? You know, I mean, all the homes out there, like, oh, there's a cornfield. Oh, look, there's a bunch of apartments. Who's living in those?
People moving to town.
I
What
don't
are they-
know, but the
that they're- I
census
thought
data.
are the people dying and moving off the island and they're replaced by people building stuff that's going to run out of water?
No,
I mean,
actually, and our population here in Corpus isn't growing as fast as other cities.
Oh,
too.
it's
No, no, no,
way
no.
under.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we need tariffs on diesel. And so what's your answer? So what
okay.
do we want? What do we need? Do we, because the people who don't want it, the two that are on the council being pestered by the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, there's 5 now.
There's
that don't
5.
want it.
Okay.
Right,
Well,
yes.
there's 5.5. They're starting to call me too.
So the
Hey guys, I've been off for 3 years. You
yeah,
know?
but the deal is with everybody in Corpus Christi thinks there's not transparent enough, and the reason I thought that is like all of a sudden we had never heard anything about the Mahrez's deal out there with Alice, and then they pop up, and then the judges out there like, who the hell? Where did this come from?
Well, this has been in the works for a long time. I got the contract for that 4 years ago on there, and this is another one I brought up.
Nobody said it. Oh, because they don't have a public information officer. Never mind.
Oh,
too
Tyler's
soon?
not sore about that.
Let
yeah.
me tell you about the city of Alice. So I send an open records request for the contract. They didn't disclose it in their meetings on there. 4 days later, I had it.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was so sweet and nice because I've sent in some others, City of Corpus Christi.
They have
included.
10 days.
They got 10 days, but then they send you oh gosh, we got to get with the AG, or we
Yeah.
can't tell you this because
And then you got to pay for the print.
We can't find the files when you can find all our previous episodes on YouTube. Just go to Island
right.
Moon Live. Check out our channel.
Yeah, so folks, what's going on in Alice right now is they made a deal for brackish waters desal on there, and they were getting about averaging 3 to 4 million gallons a year from City of Corpus Christi, picking it up at the lake. They got a 30-mile pipeline. So they made a deal with Seven Seas on there for 3 million gallons a day. Alice provides the well water with it, and Seven Seas is waiting for the second well, but they commission now. They're using 1.5 million gallons a day of this RO water, and as soon as they get that well in there, they'll get the other. So that's 3 million gallons a day off of Corpus's load right there. South Texas Water Authority, they just signed a contract with the same outfit, Seven Seas, for another 3 million gallons.
That's Kingsville.
That's Kingsville.
That's
with
the Driscoll plant.
That's
what
the
they're talking
Driscoll
Which
plant.
can be upgraded to 100 million. Is that what you're saying?
10.
No, they can 30 million.
Well,
okay.
they're trying to they're trying to recall 3 of the council people down there over their water.
But
front.
by
That's
God,
right.
it's going to go to the
feud
Petronilla
is-
Creek, and it's going to freshen
a
up
feud has
Baffin Bay
broken
too
out.
much. Right?
Everywhere you
But
Yes.
the gerbils
The
of San
gerbils of
Fernando
San
Creek.
Fernando.
Gee.
One
They're
thing you s-
unionizing. It's going to be crazy. Just
Well,
watch.
It's tough.
I was talking to my bosses. It's one of those things like, why don't the CCA get into this? And they go like, well, and then they'll say, why is CCA involved with that trout issue? Get them out of here. But now they want CCA to be involved in this walk. Where are they now?
It's a double-edged sword for
I-
sure.
Well, one of the things that
Jeez.
you see, man, the water fight, it brings out people that old ranch families,
Oh, yeah.
right, that have the water rights,
You know,
and
Subsidence.
all everybody's coming out of the woodwork because the stakes are so high.
Right.
Everybody's wanting to make a little money, and
Well,
and it's hard to tell by watching what's going on the surface. What the
Somebody's
fight
making
is.
money somewhere, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, what is the
You
answer?
feel the ground shifting, but you didn't know there was an earthquake.
Right.
I know. That's why I get so tired of seeing all this stuff where people are just they don't trust
So
our
as we-
government people.
Well, I was looking at the city's agenda on there, and they had some small bobtail dump trucks they were buying on there, and I still got some contacts. I said, what the hell you need these dump trucks for? So, oh, well, we need to load up all the cash that we're spending on this desal plant. Backing it up.
I always read those.
That's right.
You read the request for proposals that go out, and it'll say the applicant must have between 26 and 28 dump trucks on October 2nd, 19.
To qualify for
And there's
this
only one
project.
company that turns out it belongs to somebody's brother-in-law, and they're
I know.
located in Dallas or something.
A 391 cubic inch engine with a
Right,
4-speed transmission that's
That's what I
only
was wondering
done by
about the
Yeah.
street sweepers. It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell? They don't. Yeah.
I'm gonna call
But-
Frank
but
De La Rosa.
speaking-
We're gonna get
Speaking
him.
of the dump
Yes.
trucks on there, and this is what I was talking about, one of my things yesterday. I'm a financial guy. So I'm looking at the city. The water system has its own individual debt, $500 million in debt. I'm looking at the borrowing needs for the next 4 years, $2.2 billion. You need dump trucks to haul $2.2 billion.
Oh my God! You get 10-yarders.
They don't
Yeah.
make $500, $1,000 bills anymore,
Yeah.
so you're gonna have a lot of hundreds.
And this is something that hasn't everybody and the people that don't get in the details. And at that meeting, we had a lot of detailed people. Detailed
Yeah.
people are going, oh gosh, guys, I mean, how are we going to pay for this? The non-detailed people said, oh, we need it.
Oh, look, it's bright and shiny. Let's build it.
Yeah. So when I worked on it, which I supported 100% with it, it was $212 million. Now it's $1.189 billion, up by 6 times. Well, guess what, folks? The water coming out of that plant costs 6 times as much.
Yeah.
And people are saying, Greg, you supported it. What are you doing now? You've gone red on us. You've gone communist on us. I said, no, we can't afford it. Our
Right.
balance sheet can't take it. Have you ever done a debt ratio on there? These kind of minor
They
details.
said there would be no math.
Yeah, but we got this.
Who made this about math?
Let's do another study. I
Yeah.
don't know anything about
Yeah.
it.
We got this state money. No, this is a loan guaranteed by the state, and if you go through the documents like I have, they have all kind of hooks in there. Well, you need to do this because you're going to pay us back. And one thing out there, folks, that money isn't for free. Like I say, there's
Yeah.
hooks in it, and it also in what you do and how you report and how you can build it and things
Yeah.
like that. So the money you're going to save in interest by getting that lower interest rate, you're going to spend in the cost of the plant.
Right on.
It always comes back.
But Greg, one more thing. Back to Barney Davis.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of more nefariousness that may occur. So our power plants here are owned by San
San
Antonio.
Antonio.
City
Right.
Public Service,
So
City of San Antonio.
Our power plants have both an intake and a discharge permit. So if I'm San Antonio, I'm like, I'm gonna slap.
They can run
a
desal right out
unit
of there.
right out of there, and then suddenly they have a stake in the game down here.
Yeah, and Barney Davis is the city of Corpus Christi looked at 22 different sites on there. 6 of them made the short list with it. Harbor Island did not, but Barney Davis did not either because at that time Corpus Christi was not looking at offshore intake or discharge, and with Barney on there, if you want to go offshore on a discharge, Barney's the place to be.
There's already a line, right?
They've got an intake. So
There's 3 lines that go offshore.
yeah, and when you're building a desal plant, on your intake you have to build. You're taking twice the water coming in that's going out because half you're discharging, half goes into
Yeah.
your water system.
Yeah.
And when you're discharging, you have a big pump on there and the pipe, and you put it under pressure, and it's flowing like a giant fountain on there. But on an intake, that's gravity, and it's just kind of going in. The turtles are with it, and the snails. So your intake structure is very expensive. Well, at Barney, they got a $500 million gallon a day intake structure, bought, built, paid for, flowing right
Absolutely.
now.
Why don't we use the current infrastructure? Right.
Well,
Yeah.
that City Public Service owns it now, right?
Because the dump truck people are objecting because they can't sell their dump trucks with the shovels of money.
All right, we're going to take a quick little break here. I'm going to get some more sarsaparilla, and we'll be back. We'll be back in just a moment. That's right. It's Island Moon Thursdays on
Yeah, it's like-
KUKA Driscoll 105.9, 103.3, and on Retro Tejano 104.1, and on YouTube on Island Moon Live. You can go watch a recording of this broadcast and see how the sausage is made. We are live, like our buddy Ed said, out at Doc's Seafood and Steaks. It's a gorgeous day. We were setting up out here. Ted was helping me set up because he's a roadie extraordinaire, and we're trying to get it to where the background's not too blurred out, but we're because it's so bright outside. And we could have it set up to where we're facing the bridge, but then we'd have to have lights on us, and that would we'd just be sitting here pouring sweat. Like, we're trying to at least stay where there's a breeze. It's actually quite nice up out here at Doc's, and we're glad you're joining us, listening to us. We got Greg Smith, Tyler Thorson, Dale Rankin, Ted Mandel is here, Jay Gardner, and my name is Jacob Oggs. We are glad you're with us again. We've been hitting on some more water subjects, and it's.
And other things.
It's
Well,
yes,
we're
and other things.
we're going to
It's just
talk
been-
about Port Aransas tourism here in a little bit, and
Right.
I heard this week a subject near and dear to Greg and my heart. They've done away with the concert series at the Third Coast Studio in Port Aransas. After 20 some years, it's gone away.
Jim Urban has bought a house in Bahamas or Virgins or someplace on there, and Jim was just loved music. Had
Yeah.
this, the Third Coast concert, very nice, small venue with it. But
It's a great place to watch shows.
he sold it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they
he
had
sold
such
it.
an
and-
awesome
Jim, you
logo.
sold
So
it.
it's going away. So we
I
need
went
to
to
find a
many,
new
many-
place, maybe down on this end of the island where
Well,
we can.
I mean, are the new owners going to change? I mean, what are they going to do with that space?
I
Knock
don't
it
know.
down and put
Don't know.
It's
Murphy
probably-
beds on the wall? I don't
Well,
know.
like
you
what
know
happened,
I
like what
mean?
happened to the back porch. It's probably worth more as parking spaces or condos than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
It could be, and Jim was a cousin of Ted Mandel's with it, that roadie type of guy, setting
Yeah.
everything up, and so losing that technical side.
Well, they had the same about 8 or 10 bands through there every year.
Yeah.
And they
And good
fill the
bands.
place up. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but it didn't really play anywhere else down here. So
Standing room only.
we'll have to find a place. It only held about 100, little over 100
it was,
people.
yeah, I don't think.
And they'd
if
sell
that-
it out before they even got
Yeah.
going.
So what you're saying is
was-
they paved paradise and put up a parking lot.
Hey,
Is that it?
Something like that.
Is that how that
Exactly.
goes?
But here on this end of the island, we had
We opened a new Brewster
we
Street,
opened a new Brewster
Yeah.
Street.
which we've lovingly nicknamed B3s.
B3.
By the way, that's what I'm sticking with.
Well, it's been they've been jammed over there.
They're saying Island
Yeah.
Ice House, right?
Is that what they're calling it?
I think so.
Well, they're wrong.
No, it's B3. It's like H.E.
had to-
H.E.B.
we had-
Robert
we
is
not
not H.E.B. Robert. It's H.E.
H.E.B.
Bob.
Bob.
I don't
Yes.
care what you say.
Exactly.
Right.
Had
Yeah.
the soft opening Monday, and then it opened for business Tuesday.
It wasn't
and
so soft. That was a violent opening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
they were parked
then-
way
Nuclear
up and down
opening.
The
Yeah.
streets. Yeah.
And yesterday, Jan tried to go by for lunch, and it was
It was a moist opening
packed.
because it was hotter than hell out there.
Yeah, yeah. It was. They're up and running.
Can you
They're,
bring dogs out there?
outdoors? I believe. I don't think you can take them inside. Mm-hmm. I think I saw a sign. I don't have the Liz anymore, so I don't pay much attention.
I know, but you didn't pay much attention when you had
Here's
Liz
the
either.
Liz.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
She had her own pass.
Yeah, to Liz.
I don't know. That's a big deal to me now that I have a child.
Well, so this weekend, Jan's got to go to Los Angeles for a baby shower, so I'm going up to the hill country, and they got a lot of leftover dogs from the flood that went through Kerrville.
Oh, you're gonna find
So I'm not sure yet.
Oh, Hunt.
They got. I've been looking and trying to see if I can find one that might be a fit for us.
I've
So,
been
we'll
I've been
see.
speaking of other things running around with science. I've been trying to get the girls out to the beach and go do some creepy doll hunting
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and get down pins just to have get the girls out and play and
Well, you
see
might
something
find
other than
some
the
now
walls.
because there's not as many tourists
And-
soaking them all up.
Yes, and it's nice. We need to have Jace back on here. I know in his article in this edition of the Moon, he just talks about snorkeling the jetties and all
Yeah.
the little things he's seen. And back in the day, we used to spend a lot of time underwater at the jetties.
Yeah.
There's
And
octopuses down
there's-
there, right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
all
there
kinds of
are.
gorgeous, like really awesome reef fish and all these other cool little things that you would never imagine.
And August is when you can see them, right?
And
Right.
yeah,
on
and
the
if you-
incoming tide in the morning is the best.
Really?
About mid-morning.
Yeah, and if you really want to feel like a bad fisherman, get down there on a nice clear day. You can see all the fish you're missing.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
There's snow.
you ever tug on somebody's
Yes.
bait just to mess with them?
And
Yes,
fishing
exactly.
tackle?
We have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so that's the thing, people used to kind of sneer at me when I would start going by, and they've got their lines out in the water. All the fish are swimming all around their dead shrimp, but they don't want it.
I know, it's just- yeah.
And this guy's like, "Hey, you're scaring away all the fish," and I'm like, "No, they're right there. You're just not catching them."
They're not even looking at your bait. Promise me.
Yeah, but what I do is I'll swim down and grab a lure or something, a spoon that's hung up on the rocks, and get up and throw a spoon at them. And all of a sudden I'm their best friend. They're like, "Hey, what
yeah.
else is down there?"
But you have these fishing tackle masses.
Yes.
Yeah,
Are they used to?
That's
Yes,
true.
that's what.
The amount of spark plugs that are used for weights. This was 40
everything,
years
yeah.
ago.
Oh,
but,
same.
But but Jacob was trying to get to. We need to do a cleanup, and I was there at the Packery Jetties recently, and there's a bunch of line trailing off all over the place. There's cast nets, all kinds of
It
things
popped
down
up in my
there.
feed. That was 10 years ago that we did that.
Oh man, we're
Yeah.
definitely due for a cleanup.
Yeah,
for
it was
sure,
10 years
so.
ago. It was the 1st of August, and you and CT and you and I were over on the other side,
Yeah.
and that was pre
And-
Tyler going to hell.
And we made a lot of friends too as we were picking things up.
Oh,
All
yeah,
of a sudden we had a gaggle of people,
We had 5 gallon buckets full of line
of
and
masses of line
and,
and,
and
cast
cast
nets
net
and
weights.
everything.
and people were sitting there with side cutters, man, and they were just
Yeah,
they
the
pulled probably
flower
about
Bluffians were just,
55
like, all
to
over you
60
like white on
pounds of
rice.
lead.
And Greg, that was in like 100 feet, 120 feet on the inside
Really?
of one jetty. I mean, it's just amazing how much stuff is down there.
Well, this was decades ago. I made my dive weights out of melted fishing weights.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. we
Picked up at
Well, I saw it.
Pouring lead,
We
yeah.
ran a story this week. The Hart Institute starting to do some work with coral.
Yes, they're
out at
interested
the
in the
flower
flower
gardens.
gardens. Yeah, it's actually they're calling it. They're monitoring one of the world's healthiest reefs, which is actually really great to hear.
And it is beautiful out there at the flower gardens. I was going through my old dive logs, and I've got like 85 dives at the flower
Wow.
gardens.
It's offshore from what,
It's
Galveston?
115 miles out. Yeah, it's way out there.
So the Flower Gardens is the most
Northerly.
northerly
See?
coral
Yeah.
reef.
there
Really?
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's really pretty. It's got hard corals, but it's really stark if you're a diver because there's no soft corals. It's really, there's no gorgonians, there's no fans, there's no sea
It's just
whip,
like
and
rocks.
No sea whip.
There's just no sea whip.
Do they do that thing? Because it's like on the beautiful planet, they all
David Attenborough.
Yeah, all the sperm from the coral go off at once, same time every and they
Yes.
all generate in one big
And
splash.
that's the new moon that's going to pop up here. They do it once a year here
Well,
in
the
about a
hard,
week.
hard
or two,
ones
yeah.
too. The hard coral do. Too?
That's right. And so they're actually going to go out. They're doing the Lionfish Invitational. The Flower Gardens National Marine Sanctuary people are sponsoring this. They go out, shoot lionfish, and film the coral spawn. That's what they're going to do. in a
Lionfish
couple
are
weeks.
bad, right? We don't like lionfish.
No, we've
Lionfish
had
are
them at
bad.
Packery too.
They're very
Right.
invasive.
but
Yes.
they taste good.
You
And,
can you
They
can eat them,
do?
but it's,
And
Yeah.
our friend Kay Ocean Pebbles is actually going to be on that trip. So we're looking
Nice.
forward to that.
Ocean
Well, she had to come
Pebbles?
ar- Yeah,
Yeah.
Ocean Pebbles.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. But yes, lionfish are bad because what they do is typically predator fish come up to a cleaning station. Cleaning station underwater is like placed in a soft current where grouper, barracuda, and everything comes up, and the small fish like Spanish hogfish come up, and neon gobies and pick all the parasites off of them, and they don't eat them. Lionfish, however, they pull up to a cleaning station. They get cleaned and then they eat the gobies. It's like, whoa,
Sure.
that's rude.
Sort of like my,
Yeah.
my Oklahoma cousins from Oklahoma.
and
Well,
they're
don't barber shrimp do the same things?
Yes, exactly.
The barber shrimp like clip, 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 yeah, yeah.
we've got Brett Stewart joining us. Good morning. How's it going?
Good morning, sir. It's doing great. Things are going great, and I'm from Port Aransas, and came down here to the island, and definitely.
Thanks for
love-
making the trek all the way
Yeah,
down here.
yeah,
It's
Y'all are talking about a little bit about regenerative tourism, and we're going to be hosting the Regenerative Tourism Conference here in actually at UTMSI in October, inviting all the states around the Gulf to come down to Port Aransas, partnering with the Hart Research Institute y'all were just talking about,
Yeah.
as well as UTMSI. We're bringing in some keynote speakers that are going to be quite tremendous, and and hoping to teach the Gulf communities the new way of tourism and the regenerative way that we all need to be in and respect.
So explain what because I'm thinking of a lizard losing his tail.
Kind of. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Just keep coming back, or-
So it's
They keep
you
coming
know,
back when
there's
you
been
cut
a
'em
lot
off.
of keywords, I suppose.
Okay.
Now that's the,
Well, I
the
mean, I was-
trendy one, but
yeah.
you know, it's been everything from sustainability to environmental. You know, all the things that we need to do to respect the lands and the people and the cultures that are here to ensure that those things continue to live on and thrive amongst the growing tourism industry that we have in this region. So a lot of what we're doing is focused on, you know, trying to keep what we can keep, you know, authentic and real, and not become a major, you know, just a tourist trap.
How was the season this year? Was it busier than you thought, or?
Yeah, no, we, you know, when we started out the year, we had some economic concerns.
Yeah.
But by far, the numbers aren't totally in yet, but by far these numbers are going to be, record-breaking, beyond what we had thought. So double-digit % increases across the board on arrivals, guest nights, revenue, all of those sorts of things. Waiting for sales tax numbers to still come in, but Port Aransas, you know, hit a grand slam this
Well, you
summer.
guys keep your own hotel occupancy tax in Port Aransas. That's one of the disadvantages we've talked about on this show a lot.
Well, you can
we
join us.
don't.
You can give us
We
your-
tried. We tried.
right,
and,
yeah.
we
You
and
tried to
it's-
secede, didn't you?
Well, we tried some years ago. Greg
Yeah.
and I were involved with that, trying to set up a tourist improvement district between here and Port Aransas, and I still think it's a viable idea. It's just a hard thing to get
We
done.
definitely would love to talk to you about that. There's been some improvements on the tourism improvement districts this year in legislation, so there
Yeah.
are some ways possibly we could collaborate on that. And short-term rentals are now a part of that, with property management companies being able to
Right,
do more. So
right.
it'd be great, and that would give us power to really promote these two islands as the powerhouse that they are.
One of the things that we've seen, and we've talked about it on this show, is we always talk about the 100-day tourist season. But as the start of school has creeped more and more toward the start of August, we don't really have 100 days anymore.
It's down to 70 by my count.
Yeah, so we do squeeze those days in. I mean, we felt the water faucet shut off, you know, on the Tuesday
Yeah.
of this week, Monday
Yeah.
of this week, which was kind of nice
Because all the locals come back out of their houses like,
I'm not gonna
nation's
lie.
over.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the tourist guy, but it was nice to be able
You can
to
go to the grocery store
Well,
any time of the day now.
What is the impact of losing that 30 days? I mean, how many millions of dollars is it to Port Aransas?
I mean, we're losing millions of dollars, but you know, the way the school calendars are scheduled, I'll argue some of these fall breaks and these long extended holiday
Yeah.
breaks. You know, the kids are still only in school so many hours of the day. You know,
Yeah.
so despite of when they go, the ability for them to come for weekend getaways. You know, so now we see things like, you know, what Columbus Day weekend, I suppose. Those are 4-day weekends now for
Sure.
a lot of districts. So
Yeah.
those are really important pieces to our fall to keep our businesses
right.
moving.
If I knew this a long time ago when I used to live in Waco 30 years ago. The best time to come down here is October.
Absolutely.
October, November. It's not hot. It's not cold. You can still go out there, and the water's still like 78, 80. And the weather normally is pretty advantageous, unless it's September and you want to go dove hunting. Then it starts raining. But
Well, you can, in October the temperature drops, but the water is
still warm. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's beautiful. That's why they have Sharkathon, and we have Babes on Baffin coming up. By the way,
Speaking of Columbus Day weekend,
yeah, Columbus Day weekend. That's the 10th and the 11th, or 11th and the 12th. One of those. It's right up there, and it's always a good time to come fish down here. And by the way, you ladies that want to join that, there's usually at least 300 participants, and they have all kinds of good swag they're working on.
costume contest,
Right,
all
the
kinds of
costume,
stuff.
and the ladies come down here like, oh my God, they come down there for the shirts and the contest and the camaraderie. That you can go to babesonbaffin.org and you can sign up
That's how-
for $100 until September 15th.
Marker 37. isn't
It's
it?
a
Yes,
next
it
door
is.
Marker
Well,
37,
now
and
you
it is
guys-
a catch and release, which is catch,
And
photo,
they have
and release.
tags now. They
Yeah.
have a tag.
Yeah,
Should
it's
I
great.
say
So
that?
you can catch a babe and release her out
Well,
there.
Oh yeah, you know,
The tag is the hard part.
catch her on Friday night, release her on Saturday.
It's always better to release.
Oh, you guys have been promoting Port Aransas in the Dallas market the last few years.
Right.
You've got to deal with the Cowboys, right? And
We are official sponsors of the Cowboys. So
you
we
get free
are-
tickets.
We do pay for some tickets.
You
that-
sounded very,
Yeah.
you sounded very enthusiastic
No,
about
we don't
that.
have any because you're the 15th person to ask me this morning.
Yeah, no, we have a pair of club seats that we give away to influencers. Or last year we did a sweepstakes.
Influencers
Oh
again.
my goodness,
I mean-
Tyler's an influencer.
I am.
I know. Well,
Did we mention
Fill out
we're
the
on
form.
YouTube Live right now?
Yeah, that's great. I have 10,000 followers.
Well, have you seen an uptick in
yes.
visitors from
so,
Dallas?
I mean, obviously, why we we chose that market. And number one, Dallas is, really the team of Texas. I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, Houston
It
fans
is.
and all that. But
Well, when they're doing poorly and
it's
everybody
also-
wants to get away, come down here.
Want to get away? Yeah.
Spoken like a true Texans fan.
They really do, partner with us great. So we have a lot of value add things, but we're doing other things in the DFW market because that is a very lucrative market for us. So they have to travel farther, so that means they're staying longer. That means they're spending more money. It means they're coming down here. So also it's a huge growth market. So yeah, we've seen the percentage uptick. San Antonio is still our number one. Austin's our number two. DFW is number three. And then it's continuing to climb higher or faster than.
What
the
do
other
your
two.
billboards say? Because we used to have a picture of our friend Gabe Goodman holding up a
mahi,
mahi, and I was like, "Damn, that's Gabe." When
Yeah.
you come back on 59,
Yep.
like, "Damn, that's Gabe."
Might say the catch of a lifetime if that's the one you're talking about.
Well, yeah,
But,
or the other one,
yeah.
the fishing capital of Texas. or
fishing
something.
capital of Texas, all those things.
Yeah,
We have
formerly Tarpon.
I mean,
Okay,
formerly Tarpon.
I'm an airline airport guy, and we just got new service to Denver.
That's great.
Does it pay for Port A, Corpus, the island, to advertise in Denver and try to get some traffic down here? Because the people in Denver consider Corpus Christi their beach destination.
They do, and that, we're already doing that. And so is
Interesting. Look
Corpus.
at you.
So Corpus has been in the Denver airport for a couple of years now. So they are actually having those ads, as you're walking through the terminals and so forth.
Okay.
We've done some stuff more organically and through digital. We do a magazine drop and. What's the 5380? Is that the Mile High? Anyway, that's a magazine there that we partner with on inserts of our Island magazine and so forth. So it's a great market for us as well. It's Oklahoma really jumped up this year, so we're excited to see them continue to feed in. But that direct service to
Interesting,
to
yeah.
Denver is great. I wish it was more than just one airline once a week, but I think it's going to be great. Obviously, the industry down here needs it most right now, and then the travelers who come in, Spirit Airlines is or not Spirit, what is it?
Frontier?
Frontier,
Yeah.
is a discount airline, so
And
it'll.
we've been talking about it for so long, and it's finally happening. It's
Yeah.
awesome. So, special thanks to Tyler and Kevin, our old airport buddies, for getting all that going.
Well, and I
And-
signed a letter for Delta or someone else
Yeah.
a couple months ago. So, I think the trend's going to continue, and just
Yeah.
to get more direct service outside of, Dallas or Houston would be great.
What percent of your visitors drive and what percent fly? Do you know?
95% drive. It's pretty high. We're a drive market, so which is what
Right.
we
Well,
do.
yeah, you want to see the dolphins coming over on the ferry.
Yeah, well, and you want your car to go up on the beach, and you want
Right.
to pack all your stuff so you can eat
Yeah.
in the
Well,
house.
you go to Denver,
So-
you say,
Right.
you
Okay,
say, come
gotcha.
for the beach, stay for the decel. That
Work on that. Work on that.
I
comes
thought that
little
was
Sal.
catchy.
Home of the salty water.
Freshest water you'll have.
So just to
Straight
get
out of the tap.
just to get an idea about how much money we're kind of discussing and the what's at stake here. I know, Greg, you said it a while ago, talking about the hot tax between Port Aransas and what they keep, and then the island and what we keep. Do you happen to remember those numbers?
Well, when I haven't looked at the hot tax since we had the whole ABC issue on there.
Oh,
but,
no, that boiled over
yeah.
recently, too.
It's about 60-40, and the drive. If you look at the long-term trends on there, where all the growth is it's STRs, and you have the island, Port A, and the SPID corridor. Mm-hmm. And you see the SPID corridor in the summer as people that don't want to stay on
They
the island.
didn't get a
can't Get a
reservation.
room on the island on
Yeah.
there. That's what's driving.
We
the
get
gains.
about, if I remember right, around $20 million a year, give or take, in hot tax.
Yeah.
And about, if 25% of that comes directly from the island, and another 10 or 12.
40% came from what I'm talking, the summertime
60.
increase on there,
Right.
and then the STRs. And so you're looking at that, and you have that. The money trucks not only go to the water, but they also go to the American Bank Center.
Yeah.
Those trucks, man.
With it. And
Yeah.
so
It's a
you just
one-way
got
trip.
this giant vacuum
Yeah.
with it. And-
$39,000 a day.
Yeah.
Oh, Atlanta, right.
And
What is your hot tax in Port A? that comes in, Brett?
It's pretty aggressive. We're good. I
You're
think
right.
we
That means a
talking-
lot.
so.
Are
If
we
you want to talk
talking
about the city,
dump trucks
Yeah.
or bobcats here? I mean,
Well,
put it in perspective. July numbers for short-term rentals, about $42 million in revenue was generated from those short-term rentals.
Wow.
So then you tax that, you get your percentage. All in all, Port A receives of their portion
Right.
about 11 million a year in hot tax. That may not include the part that comes back to protect our coastal communities as part of the state rebate.
Right.
That's additional 2% of that.
right, yeah.
So that helps us with beach cleanup maintenance and
Right.
serving all the visitors on
Port
the
A,
beach.
Port A jumped into short-term rentals early. Greg and I were at
Very
that
early.
meeting back. That was before Harvey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few years before Harvey, and it was at that time, everyone was just thinking, wow, there's a new source of income, and I would assume that that's probably changed where the mix of where people stay, right?
Yeah, yeah. You're seeing our hotels, believe it or not, are not. They struggle with the rates. Everybody's rates this year are down a little bit. So our growth is really based on just volume as well as just the growth in the market itself.
Speaking of volume, one of the things that I realized looking at the numbers, and I think Greg, you actually mentioned some about this a few shows ago, was the fact that we're matching 4th of July numbers almost every weekend. This, I guess, has a lot
Yeah.
to do with the 70-day season instead of a 100-day season.
Right.
We're just seeing more people stacked throughout
Right.
the entire time.
And we're seeing growth in the feeder markets.
Yes.
San Antonio Austin corridor has gone nuts. And you were talking earlier about
Bernie,
Corpus
the
not
Broncos.
growing. Yeah, we've had
Right.
the census in 2000. If I remember the numbers, Texas gained 14% in population, and we gained 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened in 2020. We got to 30 million people in state, and we didn't grow.
Well, the island in Port A, they're more dependent on that. So particularly in Port Aransas, that it's that market's growth that helps Port A out, because that's where it's a
Yeah.
tourism. Where Corpus Christi is truly an industrial, they have
Right.
a tourism side.
We have nothing but tourism. I
Yeah.
run the EDC, I run the Rotary, I run
Yeah.
the Chamber of Commerce. I
You
run
wear
the
a lot of
Tourism
hats,
Bureau.
man. Yeah.
I
Is that
work-
you want to get on the board for Friends of Padres?
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
How about CCA?
I'm a school board member too.
Oh my goodness.
It's a
You get sick,
it's
they'll
a
have to shut the town down.
It's a small. I don't think so. I think I'll pass the torch nicely.
Brett Stour,
Yeah.
it's Stour, right?
Stay War, but
Stay
yeah,
War.
yep.
Stay War. That is
Stay
one of the
War.
coolest last names.
I mean, yeah.
Where were you
Mascot.
before Port Aransas, Brett?
I was St. Louis, so I
Louis.
really worked at a DMO out of St. Louis on the riverbanks of the Mississippi.
Like
for
Leeds Landing?
6th County. Yeah, I didn't do St. Louis proper. I was on the Illinois side. So we did where the Great River Road met the.
That's
Route
East St. Louis, isn't it?
66. I mean, it's close.
That's where you go out and your hubcaps are going when you.
Not anymore. It's changed a lot.
It was when I was a
That was
kid.
the 1980s.
No,
but
I was.
yes.
I went to the what do you call it, the big
The
arch?
arch, the
I went
arch.
to the arch when it was like first open, and we went to the
Wow, you're that old?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
we went to the St.
In the
Louis Zoo.
30s or something?
Went to the St. Louis
20s?
Zoo and found out that chimpanzees throw stuff at you, and it's not necessarily bananas.
Yeah, they do throw things. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, now they're walls up.
But as an 8-year-old, it was fun.
Well, how did you hear about the Port Aransas job?
You know,
Versus
I had worked
65-year-old.
where I was, and I worked at Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau for about 16 years. You know, so we were
Wow.
settled in, right? We were anchored in.
Yeah.
COVID hit, and these recruiting companies call all the time and pester you, and I'm like, I ain't going. Anyone go to Rochester, Minnesota? I'm like, hell no.
Yes,
they got
the Mayo
winners
Clinic.
up there.
I'm good. I'm good. And so COVID hit, and one of our sons were graduating, was in college, and the other one was just getting ready to enter that. My wife worked in healthcare, and she's like, we were both at wits' end with COVID, kind of hitting.
Yeah.
So they called and they said, well, I said, you got it all wrong. I said, it's not Rochester, Minnesota. I said, it's got to be south. I said, it's got to be warm, hot. If there's sand, it's better.
Yeah.
And so a week later, they called that, and we talked for a good 3 to 6 months. We were working with the board and kind of coming down and doing visits, and did decide to make the move 5 years ago, and we don't regret any bit of it. It's just been a blessing to
But
us.
you got here right after COVID, a couple years after. I mean, not
in
COVID,
the
Harvey.
middle. I mean, I was like
In Harvey.
saying, hey, we're shut down
Yeah.
here. You guys are going to shut down. And sure enough, the next week your beach shut down. And so it was like, okay.
So the 3
Welcome to
carjackings in East
Texas.
St.
We
Louis
have no
didn't have anything to do with it?
No. And like I said, nobody lives in East St. Louis
Three
anymore,
carjackings.
so it's pretty good.
I was like, I've been to Illinois once when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so we moved down here and just haven't had a regret. It was in 2020, so we moved down in the summer
Yeah.
of 2020.
Nice. Well, we got Brett Staywar joining us, Jay Gardner, Dale Rankin, Tyler Thorson, Greg Smith, and my name is Jacob Boggs. We're going to take a quick little promotional break and reload our sarsaparillas, and we'll be back with you guys in a second. All right, we are back. We are back on Island Moon Thursday live from Doc's Seafood and Steaks. We got Brett Staywar. We've got Jay Gardner, Dale Rankin, Taylor Thorson, Greg Smith, and my name is Jacob Boggs. We are happy that you're joining us. This is KUKA Driscoll, Texas. It is 8:30. It is 105.9 and 103.3. It was great hearing the girls talk with Steve Ray earlier on the morning
Yes.
wave. Yes, Debbie, Amanda, and Morgan are killing it. They're doing such a great show. And Eric Von Wade's going to be showing up for another special edition of the Eric Von Wade Show live from Doc's. So we will keep this rocking. YouTube, you can just go to Island Moon Live and watch this recording, and then we'll have a separate recording for Eric's show as well. But anyway, there are a couple other things that we were talking about getting to. Where did you want to go, Dale?
Well, when we get through into the shoulder season like we are now, Brett, what do you market differently? We're looking because you kind of getting a different tourist mix, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously families are our premier, goal. But when we get to the fall, a lot of the shift goes to the empty nesters. So you're going after the folks who kids went off to school. You're going after
Right.
the family, or not the families, the individuals. The Winter Texans, that market has shifted a lot through the years, even since I've been here.
Shifted how?
They're getting older, and a new generation is coming in of Winter Texans. So those demographics have shifted some as we watch that age, those populations age out, essentially. So our new Winter Texans are coming in, and the market is kind of forcing them into a January, February, March, time frame, to where right now our fall season is more open to individual, short-term getaways instead of the folks here for 30, 60, 90 days.
We're losing a lot of the ones that, the overall farmers from like the Dakotas, like you used to have, because they're dying off. Now you're getting the skinny people are wearing the Birkenstocks and the Merrills, and they want to go birding and kayaking.
They want to go birding for sure.
Yeah, they're driving a lot of Subarus.
It's not our parents anymore. It's
No.
our big brothers.
Well, they spend
us.
they spend,
Yeah, it's us.
they spend about an hour trying to tell you about the medicinal benefits of kombucha, and it's like, where did we go? What happened?
You want to talk about Denver? That's a great market for Denver.
Yes, exactly.
Speaking of
Those empty nesters want to come down here for maybe, and they don't come as long. Maybe they come 2 or 3 weeks.
Why don't we have Hemp Fest? We got to have it like a tug of war things with it's made of hemp. It's also
Gummy
get
fest.
high on your pans. Yeah.
See how that legislation goes with THC.
Right. Well, you have you have the Bollard Buddies, and you have all of
Yeah.
the stuff that happens for the Winter Texans. And one of the things I've noticed over the years, the newer generation of Winter Texans stay out later.
They
The
do.
old guys were home by 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now I don't know.
glass
if
by
it-
9.
Yeah.
Yeah, they outlive me at Bernie's just about any time I, go
know.
out there during
They
the,
stay there till midnight. It's weird.
or later.
Well, it's funny.
Yeah.
I know what type of season it is when I can look at Ronnie Narmore's live music.
Tell
live
how
music
long it
page on
is.
the back, and when the PA rockers come to town, I know it's
Right. We used to be the Medicare band. Yeah, they come down every year. They all lived in different cities. And they come down. They play Medicare band, and one at a time they'd drop out. Move to the old folks home. They get a new drummer.
That's still
Still happens.
going on.
Yeah, that still happens.
Everybody play bass back there?
Yes. If you play bass in Port A, you can work in like 6 bands.
That wasn't the bass drum.
You
The
got
drummer
clear
just
tones
passed
and
out and
rockers.
hit the mic.
Yep.
One
Billies.
thing that we see in our business is Thanksgiving and Christmas are getting a little bit more bump. And you have certain communities that they push that. And Port Aransas is
Yeah.
probably a natural for if you have some activities going on.
I did that as
things.
when my kids were growing up. We come here for Thanksgiving or New Year's.
Yeah.
It was always great down
But
here.
you're seeing a lot of the RV parks are going away in Port Aransas, right? They're turning into other things.
I wouldn't say that at
I
all.
wouldn't say
No.
I would say the opposite. But
Because the Last Chance Trailer Park over there, where everybody lived, I'm talking about not the weekend crowd, but the people that live there.
Yeah, the ones that you're doing it because of affordability.
Yeah.
And as your rig finally rusts to the ground on
Right.
there, that's what they're waiting
Yeah.
for. They can't be hauled out because the tires rotted out 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But you are. These what they call the pocket parks. So
Yeah.
you go through old Port Aransas and you'd see 10 rigs on there with it. In
Put them
those
in the
RVs.
short-term rental market, and you make some money. You don't need wheels.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of our workforce, though, does still live in RVs. I mean, so a lot of the serving staff and so forth, especially during the summer, they'll
Yeah.
come down and park it for the RVs in those types of places. Not Pioneer, because Pioneer is a little bit different.
No,
you know.
we don't cater to that. We're after the destination type
Yeah.
Yeah.
people that come in and come out.
Well, they're going to expand the RV sites over at the county park.
That, and then there's a new one's popping up, all the time.
Just opened up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I noticed some RVs in it. So
Yeah, 3 RVs.
I know
Really?
we have more than 1,500 RV slips in Port Aransas proper.
Okay.
So
1,500, yeah.
I mean, plus I could say
Well, that's about a tenth of the number of golf carts.
Jeez, right? It
not
seems
even-
like it.
It's about half.
Half.
Yeah.
We're about 4,000 licensed golf carts.
So what's talk
Wow.
on the street like? What are they predicting for hurricane season? How's everybody feeling up there?
we're just avoiding that conversation. We'll watch when it comes down here if it does.
It's like red tide.
Playing
You don't talk
chicken with
about
a
red
little,
tide.
little
yeah.
minor depression.
That's
out there
one of the
right
reasons
now.
our July, is doing so well this year. Obviously, last year we evacuated these islands
Yeah.
July 7th. So that was a major.
That was
blow.
nice too. Like everybody, you didn't leave here, you get out of here.
Yeah,
it's like, wow, this is
except
nice.
everything was boarded up and we had nowhere to go. Luckily,
was-
Shorty's was open. We can go to Shorty's and have a hurricane
Shorties
party.
will
Yeah.
exactly.
If you're going to
not
get
blows,
blown away,
yes.
you might as well get
Cold
blown
dead
away.
fingers.
So
That's
you
right.
had Ike, Cat 4
Yeah.
hits there. The one business that was the first business to open after, not Ike, I'm
Shorty's.
sorry, people.
Harvey.
Harvey. The first business to open up. Shorty's.
Shorties.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
the beer
Yeah.
was warm and the lights weren't working.
Yeah.
And you had to wait through the parking lot to get
to
there.
get there,
Yeah.
but
Chris
you
Jordan
had
and Ray
beer.
Chris Jordan and Ray got up there and fixed the roof.
And
Yeah,
then by
right,
by
Ray
that
Ray.
time, the PD had already, the liquor store, it,
Oh, it was down.
Oh,
there.
he got
one of those men had
ran.
fallen over out in front. Yeah, it was gone.
well, you had the people with the shopping carts. That
It's
the
not
IGA,
looting
yeah.
if
The
you
liquor
find it on the street.
That's right.
Looter dude.
That was Janet Planet.
I don't think there were walls, so I don't think
Janet Planet was caught. Was a Channel 6 interviewed her. She's pushing a shopping cart down the street full of liquor bottles, and they said, "Where are you looting?" She said, "It's not looting if you find them on the street." And I told her, Janet, when you see the TV camera coming, and you have a shopping cart full of liquor bottles, don't get in front of the camera. Run.
Yeah, right.
I was
It's called situational awareness.
I was doing some drone shooting and kind of photography and video for a few insurance companies after Harvey. And I was running around, and one of the places I shot was that Spanky's that looked like it had the walls torn off, but the aisle, the bottles were still
the
sitting there.
top row of bottles.
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
still
So-
there.
So I'm-
it was perfect, wasn't it?
So I'm flying,
great, yeah.
it's crazy. And so I'm flying kind of down Alistair area and all that, and just kind of recording all this. And this old boy comes out of his trailer, in his trunks that he's probably been wearing since the 70s, and nice guy,
But he
interested in the
washes
drone
them
and
every
everything.
year.
Yeah,
Exactly.
once
When he
a
walks
year.
out to wade fish, that just counts, right? That counts.
Right, yeah.
And I'm talking to this old boy, and he was like, "Oh man, blah blah," and he actually rode the storm out there. I was
Yeah.
like, "Well, how crazy was that?" I said, "Man, you didn't lose your place, And he was like, "Yeah, I had water about 2 foot up, and stuff like that." And he was like, "Yeah, I'll get around to getting my mattress out of there eventually." And I was like, "Oh, God.
Oh,
yeah."
That was one to 14 hours they were under weather.
Well, the
for that.
problem, and this happened to us. We were all preparing for that, that kind of southeast
Yeah,
hit,
yeah.
and it turned.
Came off the
and then we had north wind, so it was all coming from across the bay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll never forget that. The amount of seagrass that was just thrown all over
Right.
361. It's
Yeah.
I had 2 feet in my pool.
wow.
We
Yeah,
had
right, yeah.
literally 2 feet. I'll never forget. Joe McComb was mayor at the time. I represented District 4, which is Mustang Island. So we go over to Port Aransas, and there's David Parsons sitting there doing 1,000 different things at once, and he's in board shorts and a Hawaiian shirt on there. Joe's always the greatest joker on there. He says, "Oh, is that your uniform?" And David looked at him and said, "These are the only clothes I have."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of rude. So,
Yeah.
Harvey did come up, and there's a substation there by Greg's Pioneer RV
Yeah.
Park that's got the Harvey high water mark on it still, so you can go by there and
You
see
can
that.
still see there's a house over on, I believe it's Avenue G, and you can see the water line is still there about 11 feet up, right behind the dunes.
Jeez
I think we
Louise.
need historical markers in town
Absolutely.
showing that.
So what Harvey was, like you talked about, the wind switched. It was the water coming out of the bay, the seagrass on there, drove it to the dunes. The dunes acted as a barrier. And so the water in the Gulf was several feet lower than what it was on this side of the
Yeah.
dunes. And at the jetties on there, the water coming out of the bay overflowed the jetties into the Gulf. That was kind of the relief point. And so you had these scours sitting in Port
Yeah.
Aransas. I prepared. I'm a wind guy, so all my work was preparing for wind. We got
Yeah.
a bunch of golf carts. I think we had about 20 golf carts, and we have two levels. We have our golf cart barn, and then our other barn, which we built higher. And some of our guests said, "Well, can we store your golf carts in our barn?" And we put them in the higher barn. So the water came in there, and we lost 20 uninsured golf carts.
Oh my goodness.
That were all in the low barn because we didn't think about water. We were
Yeah.
thinking about wind. We were all Celia and Beulah and Carla conscious.
You could
on
see I drove into Port Aransas the day after that storm.
Yeah.
You could see right where the eye wall went, right just on, right as you got to the fire station. You
Yeah.
could see the grass.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
Speaking of windstorm, so I got my TWIA bill the other day.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is a great thing.
So my rates went up, but
12%.
I also saw that they bumped my coverage up. Is
Yeah.
that how they bumped the rates up? I'm like, I don't want that much coverage.
Oh,
Do I need
okay,
that much coverage?
For everybody
Recently
listening.
abandoned Flower Bluff Charmer. You know what I mean? Do I need $300,000
Yeah.
worth of
Just
coverage?
for the stuff on your table,
Pray
maybe.
for a storm.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay, so for everybody listening out there, tell your friends, tell your relatives, don't tell your enemies. But when your TWIA bill comes in, they've got an automatic coverage adjustment on there. They call it ABC.
Okay.
And for this year up to November 1, so if you get a renewal between now and November 1, they're going to want to hike you 12%.
They did. I
Yeah.
noticed.
But your insurance agent is supposed to tell you that's getting 16% of what you pay.
Oh,
Is
16%.
supposed to tell you that's voluntary. You don't have to do it. You
Really?
can say, keep me at that old coverage.
Okay.
How do
So-
you opt? So you opt out through
You
your
opt
insurance
out.
agent?
You
There's
opt
your
out.
answer.
You,
Okay.
the guy. So when you get that
So,
12%,
yes.
say,
I'm
I'm opting out. Next year, starting November 1, it's only going to be 1%. It's an inflation adjustment.
Okay.
you know.
So call
No.
your insurance agent.
Call
That's
your
the-
engineer
okay.
and say,
Did
I
you
am
guys
That's
hear
coming
that?
from a member
Thank
of the
you,
state
Greg Smith.
board.
That's-
Right,
I
yeah.
think we've
Thank
all
you.
learned something today.
I got
Save
the old park
16%.
discount.
Yes.
I got a check from Kevin Kieschnick for I guess because they reduced your rate by 50 grand or whatever it was, the county or city.
Oh, yeah.
And I got
Taxes.
wait, this is free money. No, and Kevin says, no, that's your money.
Yeah, it's your
Well,
money
you're
back.
right, but I got it back, and I was going, wow. I'm like, what am I going to spend this on?
So Greg Smith, insurance adjuster. So
Thank
yeah, where
you.
can we reach Greg?
Yeah.
1-800-D-SAL.
Yes.
500-970. Well, 1-800-DSAL TWIA Corpus Christi Housing Authority.
That's right.
How do we get all of these fun kind of tasks?
We need the mascot D-Sal, and instead of where they have the A&M Corpus Christi, we'll have shakers up. Salt shakers.
Not
There you
not
go.
shotguns.
Shotgun.
It's shakers up.
Yeah, shakers up. We got a cute little. Hey, come on, Peter. You've got 1 million people that are great with Canva over there. You got to be able to come up with some kind of mascot for D-Sal.
Well, we've talked on
Little
this show
salt shaker with
many
lights.
times
That's
the
great.
the limitations on the ferry system going into Port Aransas, 600 cars an hour or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the bottleneck. There's not much you can really do there. If you get
Enjoy the
bigger
ride.
ferries, it takes longer to load the cars. It doesn't really speed things up.
Nope.
But I want to see the dolphins.
I mean, it's a popular thing. People will wait, 4 hours to do that versus driving just a
Another
little bit.
hour around,
I mean,
yeah.
it takes an hour and a half to get to Starbucks on a Sunday.
Right.
Or maybe 2 hours
Right.
from Port A.
We need to get the ferry people to be more friendly. They're kind of
We're working on that.
they're kind of
They're under a lot of
turds.
stress.
They're like no, sure, I couldn't turn your engine off. I said, well, it's a diesel.
And
No,
set
turn your
your
engine.
set
Yeah,
your-
set your
set your
brake.
There's a couple
e-brake,
of
yeah.
friendly souls on there. I mean, you
Ah,
can
well,
find it.
then they'll be like, well, you loaded that big long truck, you son of. I just want to go on the side. No, you'll have to wait.
Well, I know
longer.
when you drive to Port Aransas, you start seeing the signs.
Now,
right?
one thing I don't understand is on a Tuesday in February why we're backed up 4 lanes.
Because there's one ferry running, and they got to stop for VLCCs as they're going by.
It is Tanker Tuesday. You're right. So, I mean,
Yeah,
that could be
Tanker
it.
Tuesday. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen
thing.
it? Have you? There is more traffic in the port. That probably does slow
Right.
down the ferry.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely does. But you think those guys, those directors on there, the ones on, they're not getting the highest pay in the world.
Yeah.
They're sitting on asphalt parking lots.
Yeah.
You go in there in the summer, it's probably only 140 degrees.
Yeah,
Please.
and they're
Mhm.
wearing a reflective jacket and a
Yeah,
helmet.
yeah, full
Exhaust.
clothes with it.
And
Steel toe
diabetes.
boots.
and you wonder, you wonder why they're not very happy.
You can light your cigar off of the side of the ferry. It's so hot.
I'll say the turnover is probably pretty good there. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're constantly churning through some
Yeah.
new workforce
I've
there. So
been really hot over there waiting on it.
yeah, it is a nice state job though. I mean, you do get
It's a great nighttime job.
Yeah.
If you watch the redfish on the other side, like, sir, you can't throw a lure over there. You know.
Well, it
Right,
wouldn't
no
be
fish.
wouldn't be bad if you worked at night. Wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
I usually go around. I don't take my chance on the ferry.
It
I
depends
know
on
how to
what
time
day
it.
and
I know
time,
exactly
yeah.
how to time it. So there
Well,
is a
you've
way.
had an issue. You mentioned earlier the people that the service industry living on Port Aransas. Historically, a lot of them have lived in Aransas Pass, and they ride the ferry over and with a bicycle.
Right. It still happens a lot. I mean, and the bus service. We have the Express, Port Aransas Express, that's coming over later. And
Does
picking
it
up
get
that
to
last
jump to
shift.
the head of the line?
It sure does. It absolutely does. So you know,
good to know.
those workers have access there. They pick them up either at the HEB in Aransas Pass. Yeah, that's the right word. So you know, it does. There are ways to kind of navigate the system, and once you live there and live through it, I mean, you figure it out.
Yeah.
You know not to go there. You know, if you're going to go anywhere on Sunday, you go before 9.
No left turn.
Oh,
to
yeah.
after
man.
3.
Sundays,
So,
yeah.
Well,
otherwise-
how do you guys relate to Corpus in terms of promoting this area around the rest of the country? Do you advertise collectively a lot? How does that all work?
I mean, we are both promoting the Gulf Coast. We do collaborate with them on some initiatives like the airport things,
Right.
where we do want to see that growth in Corpus. At the end of the day, we're a little bit of competitors, you know,
Yeah.
so we want them to stay in Port Aransas versus
Right.
anywhere else, and so those things, you know, they're friendly. What else you want me to
Corpus
say?
Christi now with more
You're good.
refineries.
Well, when you go to
we
the-
like their staff at Visit Corpus Christi. We get along
but
with
it's
them.
kind of two different destinations. Really.
It is. Yeah, we do different marketing tactics, you know, because we mentioned holidays earlier, right? So
Yeah.
the holiday groups that we have these nice homes, and so you bring in multi-generational families
Right.
that can stay on the beach that have 8 to 10 to 12
Don't really have
rooms.
anything like that in Corpus.
So yeah, so our holiday traditions are now bringing in grandma, grandpa, aunts and uncles, and all
Right.
under one roof. And then
Back to
our
the village,
chef,
yeah.
who just won Texas Chef of the Year, Matt Axtell, who works over at that steakhouse at the Omni, Republic of Texas,
Yeah.
but also is a private chef in Port Aransas. So he's got a business there where, you know, we've got several private chefs that just go
Chris
out.
Jordan does that now.
Yeah, I mean, that's our growing industry. So any chef folks out there that want to start a lucrative business, there's a lot of business to be had in Port Aransas.
Right. So, and speaking of Port Aransas, a little segue on the beach access road. You guys are putting in a new beach access road there in
Right.
Port Aransas. How long ago did you guys start the permitting on that, or did you just go
I
build
mean,
it?
that's been in the books for, I don't know, Greg will know, 100 years. It's been there for a while.
Something like that, but the Corpus one has been in longer.
Yeah, that's kind
Yeah.
of where I was
Wow.
going with that. So yeah,
Exactly. And
I'm shocked and offended and hurt.
Yeah, well,
Before-
heard. Yeah.
before
Stan
Cinema-
Bryan on the Complete Foundation Repairs Citizens Reaction Line, which is also my phone. Reach over and kiss Greg on the cheek.
thank you, Stan.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
At least it's the cheek.
Right.
Not
Well,
Jay's shiny forehead.
No,
When you talk to the people in the feeder market, San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas, they'll say they're going to the coast. Where are you going this weekend? I'm going to the coast. And then when you pin them down, they're talking usually about Port Aransas.
Right. Yeah, there's an affinity with Port Aransas. The name recognition is there as we continue to do a lot of what we're doing. You know, Port Aransas, especially in Texas itself, is a beloved community. So
I end up describing where I live as the place where you go over the bridge and make a left
Turn
turn.
to go to Port Aransas.
So where do you live? Up near that bridge? Yeah, you make a right, you go to my house. So there's houses there? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
There's houses? Yeah.
it's
Hello.
Upper Padre.
And we're educating people sometimes. I mean, a lot of times we'll talk to folks and they don't know we're by Corpus. I'm like, no, it's by Corpus.
Well, a lot
So-
of the condos up and down on 361, they're in the Corpus Christi side of the city limits, but they advertise Port Aransas.
Yeah, they got that 78373 zip code, so they are, you know, they benefit from that tremendously.
All of those high rises.
And all those taxes go to Corpus Christi.
They do.
All right. Well, speaking of advertising, we're going to take one more quick break, and we will be right back shortly to finish this up. We're going to get this just before the top of the hour.